The hopes of Charlotte Independence of winning the U.S. Open Cup were dashed on Tuesday night. So now the goal for this team in their inaugural season is a very simple one: to make the playoffs in the USL. Right now, Charlotte Independence is in 8th place, 3 back of the red line in the Eastern Conference. And now here on the nation's birthday, Independence Day, Charlotte is hoping for a good day for Independence as Charlotte takes on, for the first time ever, the St. Louis Football Club. And good evening here from the Ramblewood Soccer Complex. I'm Jeff Hamlin. Thanks for joining us here. Our director is Ryan Brown as we get ready for Charlotte going up against St. Louis FC. Both of these teams are coming off scoreless draws. Charlotte's took place last Friday night in a game that was abbreviated because of weather to only 45 minutes, their first scoreless draw of the season when they wound up locking horns with the Richmond Kickers. Meanwhile, St. Louis FC played on Wednesday night over at Legion Stadium in Wilmington, where they played to a scoreless tie with the Wilmington Hammerheads. Once again this week, the goalie carousel was cranking for Charlotte Independence. The loan for Hunter Gilstrap came to an end, and today, instead of being here in Charlotte, Hunter Gilstrap is in Cary, playing for, actually sitting on the bench, for the Carolina Railhawks. Railhawks, even as we speak, going up against Minnesota United and the North American Soccer League. So Charlotte will end this homestand with a young man by the name of Lamson in net. What makes that interesting is the fact that Matt Lamson started this 4-game homestand for Charlotte playing against Independence. Lamson was in net for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds back on June the 13th. He was on loan from the Columbus Crew at that point in time, and that turned out to be the only game he played for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. And now here he is in net playing for Charlotte Independence tonight. He will get the start. Another move made by the team this week: Henry Kalungi, a veteran from Uganda who who played 4 seasons with the Richmond Kickers. He was also signed on Wednesday. Here's the starting lineups for tonight's game. First of all, for St. Louis FC, coming off that draw and a team that has gone winless in its last 8 games. In net, they will start Alec Codd. The defense will be Sam Fink, along with Chad Vandergriff. Those will be the center backs. On the wings, it will be Oscar Jasecki, the South African native, along with Patrick Doody. Then the midfielders, it will be the leading scorer on this team. It will be Brian Marr going out there, Brian Gall, along with Patrick Marr. Mike Ambersley will be there, along with Jameel Hardware. The forwards will be James Musa, along with none other than Mr. Jeremy Lynch. Now for Charlotte Independence. Charlotte will start a pretty standard 11 aside from the new man in net, as they will go with their standard back line, Patrick Slogic, along with Raphael Cox. Belial Duckett will be a center back. Another center back will be Ben Noonan. The midfielders will be Andrew Ribeiro, Alex Martinez, who got the assist on the goal by Thomas Zahorsky 5 minutes into the game on Tuesday night, the only tally of the night for Independence against MLS's Chicago Fire. Paulo Del Piccolo and Andrew Ribeiro will also be the midfielders, and the forwards will be the leading scorer on the Charlotte team, Jorge Herrera, and making his return to the starting lineup, Ryan Finley, his first start for Independence since Charlotte's last loss back on June the 7th when they fell against the Richmond Kickers. So it's been a busy week for Independence, who come into this game 4-4-4. As we told you, they are 3 back of the team that is nearest the playoff race right now, and that is Pittsburgh. Tonight, Pittsburgh going up against the New York Red Bulls. St. Louis is a point back of Charlotte in 9th place with 15 points. They have 14 games played. They are 3-5-6 on the season. Scoring has been a problem here for St. Louis FC, as they have not scored more than 2 goals in a game in their last 6 contests. The last time they did so came up against Louisville City FC, where they went to a thrilling 3-3 draw. When it comes to the St. Louis team, the man really to look for is the aforementioned Jeremy Lynch in his 5th year as a pro from Jamaica. He is 5'11", 24 years old. Hitting stuff very well off the dribble, and if you watched that game the other night against Wilmington, you saw him bang a shot off the crossbar in the final minute of added time. That was really the closest anyone came to scoring the other night by the coast in North Carolina. Aside from that, Wilmington really doesn't have a lot of solid players offensively. It's been a slow start for this expansion franchise in many respects. Jameel Hardware, another player that can put the as well, along with Brian Gall, who is a veteran. One thing that jumps out at you looking at this St. Louis team, they have an awful lot of rookies playing regularly. They have 8 rookies playing in the top 12 minutes on the team. And just to put that in a little bit of perspective, Charlotte only has 1 rookie on the team that's playing regularly. That is Jack Thompson, and he's not even in the starting lineup tonight. In fact, he started only 9 of Charlotte's 13 games thus far this season. As you see the Charlotte lineup, Charlotte in their royal blue uniforms here on a fitting day, July 4th. It is Independence Day, and you'll notice that more parts of Ramblewood Soccer Complex open than the other 2 home games that have taken place here in this facility against Richmond and against Charleston Battery. And if you notice off to the right, it's the Met deck. That's where Jack's Militia is going to be stationed from now on, as long as there are games here at the Ramblewood Soccer Complex. And take a look at the bench right there. Coach Mike Jeffries taking a look as he has sent his crew out. Mike Jeffries had a homecoming the other night. You take a look at Jack's Militia off in the distance. They were making a big deal about this game, and many of them tonight not only showing up with North Carolina flags and American flags, but also Revolutionary flags, because after all, that is how the team got its name, from Jack's Militia, Captain Jared Jack. Going to pause now for the national anthem. Our national anthem tonight performed by Roselle Biaspas.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask you to please rise and remove your hats as we honor the United States of America. Performing tonight's national anthem, please welcome Roselle Biaspas.
So proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight are the ramparts we watch, where so gallantly stream, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say thus that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Ladies and gentlemen, Roselle Biesbas.
Roselle Biesbas performing our national anthem, one that is fitting for the 4th of July as the final game of this 4-game homestand between Charlotte Independence and St. Louis FC about to get underway. It's an important game for Charlotte. It's an important game for St. Louis FC, a team that had some early success on the road this year. In fact, they won their first 2 road games of the season, including one against the Tulsa Roughnecks. However, they have not quite success at home. They've only won 1 of their home tilts, have St. Louis FC. And one thing that Charlotte and St. Louis have in common among the coaching staffs is success in college. Dale Schilly, the head coach for St. Louis FC, won the Division II national championship as a player at Florida International. The Golden Panthers back then were D2. And Coach Mike Jeffries, the 1984 Duke graduate, made the national championship game back in 1983. He was the Herman Trophy winner for Outstanding College Player. And an old story that we'd like to tell you here on the air, the national championship game that he reached went 6 overtimes. In Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Indiana wound up winning over Duke that day 2-1. That game, I was talking to Coach Jeffries about it not long ago, and he mentioned that the overtimes had various lengths. It wasn't quite as dire a situation or as long a situation as you would expect. One overtime was 15 minutes, another was 10 minutes, another was 5 minutes, and even he couldn't remember all the details about it since it's been over 30 years, but nonetheless it was one to endure. So for this game here, Charlotte looking to grind one out here over St. Louis FC in what has been a successful homestand. And ever since opening night, where they lost to the Charleston Battery, Charlotte has not lost at home. They're working on a 6-game undefeated string here at home, whether home be Transamerica Stadium over at Charlotte University, whether it be in Rock Hill, South Carolina at Eagle Field on the campus of Witham University, or here at the Ramblewood Soccer Complex, where Charlotte is playing its 3rd ever game here this evening. Charlotte has won the coin toss, and they have elected to take the ball to begin this contest here with a new man in net. We told you about it earlier, as Charlotte will wind up starting Matt Lamson, the man who went against Charlotte Independence to start the homestand. He will play for them to complete it. Jorge Herrera, Ryan Finley line up over the ball here as we gear up for action. And this matchup between Charlotte and St. Louis, and the first ever matchup between these two teams, is underway. Ribeiro comes away. Here's Alvarez, and we're going here with action on the 4th of July. Herrera tries to chip one in the box. Sam Fink deflected that, and now it's taken away by Gall, who nearly gave it away himself. Coming out of net to play it is Alec Kahn from Decatur, Georgia, who played his college ball not too far away from here in Greenville, South Carolina at Furman University. And the foul will be called against Bilal Duckett. Quick restart by Patrick Duty. And then quickly stripped away Mike Ambersley by Alex Martinez. Coming right back, though, it's James Musa And the veteran sends it to the far end of the field. Here's the cross going inside the box. That will get to Gall, puts it on left foot, and the save is made. Matt Lamson got there as the ball wound up in his sternum, as that cross that came from the far side made its way to Brian Gall, the fourth-year pro, who was a member of an MLS champion. He was a member of the Los Angeles Galaxy back in 2012. Ball kicked out of play, and Charlotte now has to concede the first corner of the night. Well, after going scoreless against Wilmington on Wednesday, St. Louis has wasted very little time here in trying to start some fireworks on this 4th of July offensively. And it will be Patrick Duty who sent that corner in just a moment ago to Brian Gall. He will trigger the corner to the right side of the field. Big bodies coming in front. Jeremy Lynch, the leading scorer on this team, making his 9th start of the season, playing his 13th game overall for SLFC. Here it comes, and we have an offside call. And it looked like that Lynch was pushing off as he got inside the 6-yard box, and now trigger a goal kick. We talked about Matt Lamson, young man who grew up in Cleveland, Tennessee, which is among the first towns you run into once you cross Tennessee coming in from Asheville. It's remarkable he is still playing, and in some ways it's remarkable he's still living, and we'll tell you more about that remarkable story in just a moment. Here's Duckett. Lamson was diagnosed 2 days after he graduated from high school with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. He was all of 18 years old at the time. That is the most serious stage of Hodgkin's lymphoma that you can have, as Ryan Finley can't handle that long ball sent in by Ben Newman. Jasecki goes to the far end of the field, and that's where Parker Marr stands. And so it was Lamson who wound up having to go through, obviously, 6 stages of chemo and 24 radiation treatments. He referred to it as hell on earth. But he was deemed cancer-free in 2012, and then after that, he played collegiately at Ohio State, where he piled up over 25 shutouts in net and was eventually drafted by Columbus Crew. He's played 15 games for Columbus and has spent this season on loan at various teams, including Charlotte, and we told you Pittsburgh earlier. Here's Duty, as Charlotte can't mount a scoring opportunity. Fink. As you can tell, the fields here were watered before the game. That's not rain, and hopefully the rain will stay away, unlike what it did last week. Duty with a quick ball. Racing forward is Lynch. He manages to get there. He'll play it away. Gall nearly had it intercepted by Herrera. Now plays it away to the veteran Sam Fink. Fink is one of 8 rookies playing regularly here on this team. 3 of the rookies here for St. Louis played with Indiana, a national championship Indiana team. These products are from the Midwest, as you would imagine. Illinois, Mike Ambersley from St. Louis. In his 10th year as a pro, he's the most veteran player on this team. Sam Fink from Bridgeton, Missouri. The goalkeeper, Alec Kahn from Decatur, Georgia. Patrick Duty from Naperville, Illinois, one of those players who played on the national championship Indiana squad. Speaking of Duty, he's got the ball right now.
Check out the new USLsoccer.com. There you can get the latest news and live stats.
St. Louis in the white uniforms. Charlotte in their royal blue and white. Charlotte will be playing in their road whites, though, after this game for the next 2 contests, as they will journey to Louisville City next week. And then after that, they will take on the remarkable Raging Rhinos of Rochester, a team that is still undefeated after their scoreless draw last night against Charleston Battery. And right now they are leading the Commissioner's Cup race, needless to say. Right now Rochester undefeated on the year at 9-0-5. They have given up just 5 goals in 14 games after the shutout last night against the Battery. Charleston still hasn't lost at home this year. Duty takes over left side looking for a cross, gets one, and the ball put in net. It's a goal. Manages to just cross over the line. Duty sent in a beauty, and it was headed in by Parker Marr for his first goal of the year.
St. Louis goal in the 6th minute.
It comes in the 6th minute. Parker Marr, wearing number 6, gets the goal, and Duty will get the assist, his second of the year. Charlotte's center back attack was simply asleep that time, as Patrick Slogic was forced out of the area. And really, if you watch the game on Tuesday against Chicago, that isn't the first time that Charlotte's back line has fallen asleep. That was the case quite often against the MLS's Fire, and now Chicago's USL affiliate has managed to score the opening tally here tonight on Independence Day against the Independents. So it is Parker Marr, the rookie, getting the feed from Patrick Duty, another rookie. Marr played at Missouri State, and Duty, as we told you a moment ago, played at Indiana, and it's 1-0 after the goal in the 6th minute. Another beauty cross by Duty. He's had a couple of those early on in this game. Here's Duckett now on the interception. Charlotte has struggled to gain possession early in this game. Independence also has struggled to score in the first half of their last few contests. Last week, of course, they only played one half because of the thunderstorm against Richmond. Duckett pressured on the ball. Ben Newnham comes forward. And Newnham ahead. Charlotte trying to establish a flow offensively. Carlos Alvarez with a nice sidestep move on Fink. Tries to venture into the box, but that was ruled out by James Musa. Now Ambrosley is fouled, and Paulo Del Piccolo will be hit with that infraction. Let's take another look at this goal here. And it all started with the left foot delivery here by Patrick Duty. You can see it yourself. Put it right in the box. Slogic had that one go right over his head. It was a perfectly placed ball. That was a low percentage pass, but it got through, got over Slogic, and it turns into the first goal of Parker Marr's professional career. So it's 1-0. Off the free kick on the foul by Del Piccolo. It is Kahn. Newnham there to head it. Alvarez plays it along. Up the near sideline, chested down by Ryan Finley. Here's Herrera looking back for Finley. The two leading scorers on this team. Finley tries to chop it in the box. And Finley can't believe a handball wasn't called on Oscar Giuseppe. He's hopping up and down mad, but the official, Leland Grant, waved his arm saying, nope. It was not intentional, and it wasn't even a handball. Finley, of course, not shy about giving his opinions, had plenty to say about that one. Play continues, however. Here's Gall. We'll get another look at that coming up in just a second. Long ball ahead. Slogic. And we have an offside call as Finley was ahead of the back line. Let's take a look at this again here. Finley put this one up. Ooh. Looked like it caught the lower forearm.
Fans, don't forget, should you need any medical attention,
no call, though.
visit the Purple Novant Health.
And Charlotte's going to have to continue to press forward here. That was the first real sign of life offensively we've seen from them 10 minutes into the game. 1-0. Here's Newnham. Nice cross. Put down by Finley. And then beating him to the ball quickly and managing to get it out of trouble was Chad Vandergriff. And he manages to send it out over the sideline. Vandergriff, a native of St. Louis, who played with the St. Louis Billikens in college and now playing his pro ball with St. Louis's new USL team. Cross coming in, intended for Herrera. Nicely set up by Alvarez. Charlotte with a flurry now. Lynch tries to put a stop to that. Manages to do so and sends it away. Brian Gall back for Alec Kahn. So Charlotte with a couple of crosses. None of them could get through, however. Giuseppe, pass is broken up by Del Piccolo. Herrera, Del Piccolo looking to the far sideline. Martinez plays it in. Ball just sent wide. Alvarez catches up with it, though, at the edge of the box. Moves it forward. Gall bodies it down. Alvarez sends the corner cross. That's headed away by Giuseppe. Now Newnham catches up with it. Alvarez once again with a header. Goes inside the 18. Headed back out by Musa. This is Gall. Slipping down Ribeiro. And Charlotte maintains possession. Here's Del Piccolo looking for a quick feed, but Herrera didn't see it coming. Kahn started to come out of net, and back comes Marr. Here comes St. Louis after dodging that threat. Let's take another look at this ball that was in question earlier on. This was Vandergrift that was in question here. And that is right on the borderline. And it looked like back in the box. So Finley would have gotten a penalty out of that. Ball intended for Finley here, put forward by Herrera. That was headed away. This is Musa. Vandergrift up the field. Plays it up to the man who scored the goal, Parker Marr. 1-0 St. Louis with the lead. Goal came in the 6th minute. Patrick Slogic back the other way for Charlotte. With the win here tonight, Charlotte would move up to 19 points, which would tie them for Pittsburgh for the much-desired 6th spot in the Eastern Conference, but Pittsburgh is playing the New York Red Bulls 2 here tonight as well on an active 4th of July. Martinez is offside as the assistant referee on the near sideline. Benjamin Wooten raises his flag. As we come upon the 13th minute of action here tonight at Ramblewood Soccer Complex. Happy you're with us here live on YouTube. Wherever you may be catching us, whether it's live or perhaps just reviewing the contest or seeing on the first time and just trying to avoid all the spoilers. And a special hello to the St. Louigans, the new team fan group for St. Louis that has filled that stadium up. They have a brand new soccer complex in the Arch City, and they have filled it up several times already this season. Ball chested down to the far sideline. Lynch trying to keep it in play, and I believe Lynch is going to be hit with a foul. He will be, as Raphael Cox went down strong and hard into the far boards. Raphael Cox from Tacoma, Washington, back in the starting lineup, as we'll take a look at the foul. Well, actually, that was Martinez who went down, excuse me. And Alex, who got the assist on Charlotte's only goal on Tuesday night against the Chicago Fire, is back up and at him. Newnham ahead. Del Piccolo manages to get past Gall. Couldn't get past Musa, but he passed it off. And that pass errant by Ribeiro goes out of play. They've got both end zones open here at the Ramblewood Soccer Complex, and hopefully by the time the next home game rolls around on July 25th against FC Montreal, even more portions of the stadium will be open as well. As it's a steady building process here for Charlotte and this franchise, and of course the stadium as well. St. Louis, though, has hit the ground running in their young USL life, although they are 3-5-6. Charlotte in 9th place right now in the Eastern Conference. They have made some very strong headway in terms of attendance, and they've become a vital part of St. Louis, especially in a town so heavily affiliated with baseball. Free kick to the far end, goes inside the box. That's headed away by Del Piccolo. Here's Herrera up to Cox, and they'll be taken right back. Giuseppe came in to intercept it. Sam Fink takes back over at midfield for St. Louis, leading 1-0 off the goal by Parker Marr, his first as a pro, on the assist from Patrick Duty in the 6th minute. The flick that time by Gall wound up going out of play. Charlotte will play mostly Midwestern teams from this point forward in this part of the season, and Northern teams after playing 7 of its first 12 games against either Richmond or Charleston. That pass intended for Duty goes out of play. From here, it will be Louisville City next week over at Louisville Slugger Stadium. Charlotte defeated LCFC for its first win in franchise history. That was back on May the 2nd when Patrick Slogic cashed in on a free kick from Enzo Martinez. And then after that, Charlotte will play Rochester for the first time ever, and then after that, their first ever game with FC Montreal to wrap up the month of July. That'll be on the 25th here at Ramblewood Soccer Complex. Montreal in dead last right now in the Eastern Conference with only 1 win. They have 5 points on the year. Slogic tries to chest that ball down. Instead, it'll be taken back by Matt Lamson, who's in net here tonight, playing for Charlotte Independence to conclude the homestand after starting the homestand playing against Independence. Charlotte has had one come-from-behind victory, and it came against Pittsburgh. Independence wound up trailing at the half in that game 1-0 and then scored 2 in the second half. It was a penalty kick by Jorge Herrera that turned out to be the game winner. Carlos Alvarez set all up with the game-tying goal early in the second half. Charlotte advances the ball 25 yards up the field as the ball was headed out of play by Gall. This is Patrick Slogic looking for Herrera. Finley gets a touch on it. Martinez looking back over for Finley, and then a handball is going to be called here as Martinez was looking for the return. James Musa was hit with the infraction. He didn't agree with the call, but it's going to be a free kick here for Charlotte from about 23 yards out. So after that handball call, one that Ryan Finley no doubt felt was too late, Charlotte with the opportunity to cash in. This is a very strong St. Louis defensive team, however. You have to remember that. They gave up 3 goals against Louisville City earlier in the year, but they have been a stingy defensive crew, and they're hoping to show that here tonight. Herrera and Del Piccolo line up over the ball. It'll be Herrera, goes in the box. Gall got that one. Herrera puts it back in, and then it's carried right back out by Marr. So it remains 1-0 as the sun begins to fade down on this Independence Day 2015. And it's been a beautiful one and not oppressively hot. Only got up to around 90 degrees today. You have to remember that over the last month or so here in the Charlotte area, in fact, last week, ended a string of 16 consecutive days of 90-plus degree weather, including several days where it reached triple digits. Duty will throw the ball in. It'll be Brian Gall. Duty has been very well so far, handling the ball from that left back position. Ball out of play as Ribeiro touched it last. Coming up on the 20th minute, Lynch with Duckett having his arms all over him. Managed to get that pass away. This is Musa. Duty. Ambersley plays it for Duty. He'll look for another cross. Finds one. Slogic will head out of trouble this time. And now Ribeiro tries to clear it to midfield, but he can't. This is Vandergriff. He'll just send one into the box, but right there to get it is Matt Lamson, the 25-year-old. Coming up on the 20th minute here. Here comes Noonan back the other way. Little chip inside the box. Running after to clear it. That'll be Sam Fink. St. Louis, with a win here tonight, would improve to 18 points, which would leap them up to 18 points ahead of Charlotte in the standings. And they're off to a good start, 1-0. Back the other way, Giuseppe. He'll play it over for Parker Marr. Giuseppe from the right back position. Cox trying to shut down Marr from the other end. Goes to the end line, and it'll be a goal kick. Take a look at the free kick a moment ago, and you can see where this ball that was hit by Herrera managed to catch Parker Marr right in the noggin. But he kept going and managed to clear the ball. Got a face full of stuff there, if you will, but Parker was ready for it and ultimately got the ball out of play. Here's Del Piccolo. Foul will be whistled against St. Louis there. Del Piccolo in his third season from Wheat Ridge, Colorado, played at Louisville. Ball in the box. Ribeiro gave it away, and now here comes a counterattack. Hardware with it. One of his few touches early on. Lynch will march into the box. He'll glide in against Duckett. Nice back heel move. And then coming in late is Slogic to break it all up. Lynch was upset because he feels like that Duckett has been holding his jersey, holding his shorts throughout the early portions of this game, wondering what's it going to take to get a penalty. And he screamed over at referee Leland Grant, pleading his case for another penalty. We'll take a look at this. There was a lot there. There was also a little bit of body language as well by Lynch. Duty will send in what will be a short corner. Ambersley back over to Duty, who got the assist earlier. Alvarez gets a foot on that ball, and then pulling it down is the goalkeeper, Lamson. Lamson from Cleveland, Tennessee, in his fourth season as a pro. We told you about his story earlier, playing with the Columbus Crew as well as Ohio State. Slogic now comes up the field. It's been a struggle for Charlotte trying to find cohesion along that back line. Long ball ahead, and this will be offside as Alex Martinez moved up from that left midfield position. It's been a struggle for Charlotte ever since Meshach Jerome left the squad last week to join the Haitian national team for the Gold Cup. In fact, the Haitians will take on America next week. Impressive outing by USA last night in their final tune-up before the Gold Cup as they defeated Guatemala 5-0 in Nashville in front of over 40,000, 43,000 at that. But ever since Meshach departed the team, Raphael Cox has been inserted into the starting lineup, and Charlotte hasn't been quite as fierce defensively. Of course, you recall that Charlotte wound up getting that shutout victory over the New England Revolution, one of the best teams in MLS, at least up to that point in time. But ever since then, Charlotte hasn't quite had everything going its way defensively, and it showed up, of course, against Chicago on Tuesday and early on with the goal from Parker Marr here tonight. Martinez goes down. Foul will be whistled against St. Louis, and Alex is staying down. Martinez probably draws more fouls than any other player on this Charlotte team. This is an important one here tonight for Independence. They've gotten off to a lethargic start here in front of a crowd that's ready to be entertained. It's picked up here over the last few minutes, the crowd in the grandstands. And, of course, Jack's Militia, probably among the best crowds we've had so far in our 3 games at Ramblewood Soccer Complex. Herrera plays it for the right. Newnham will try to catch up for that, does so, puts it in very nicely. It just goes over Finley's head. Herrera's there to cut it off, puts it back in the box, and making a dive for that is Alec Kahn. But again, Charlotte comes up with 2 crosses on the attempt, one from Newnham, and the other attempt by Herrera, who was Johnny on the spot after that ball eluded Ryan Finley. Finley was looking for another goal, which would have been his 5th of the year. His 4 currently leads the team. Still 1-0. Vandergriff ahead to Parker Marr, who scored in the 6th minute, and the only tally thus far in the game. Patrick Duty on the assist, a beautiful cross inside that Marr headed home and gave St. Louis a 1-0 lead. Ball goes over Gall's head. There to get it is Jeremy Lynch. Back comes St. Louis, and Duckett sends it out of play. SLFC will take it back. With Duty manning that left channel, and that's where the vast majority of St. Louis's offense has been here tonight. Duty again with Alvarez laying off of him. Sends it in the box, and then coming out quickly is Lamson. Long throw up ahead. Finley cuts it off, keeps it in play. Martinez tracked down by Ambersley from behind, and they're going to call the foul. Nope, Sig went over the end line. No, they're going to call this a foul against Martinez, who can't believe it. He heard the whistle with his back to referee Leland Grant, thinking that's going to be a foul. Well, now Leland Grant corrects himself and says it was a foul in St. Louis. Leland Grant pointed the wrong way. Martinez was upset, and justifiably so, because Leland Grant marked the foul first against Charlotte, and then he changed his mind. He didn't realize what was going on until Alex put up a demonstration. But you can't blame Alex. Ball over the end line, and it's going to be the first corner of the night for Charlotte. Well, at least the referee admitted his mistake. Herrera wants a quick corner and gets one from Martinez. Now Herrera goes in the box. Slogic couldn't run up to it. Looks like Patrick wasn't prepared for the quick corner himself.
By number 23, Alex Martinez.
Alvarez. On the right side, Noonan on the overlap. Plays it in. Taken out quickly by Fink. Duckett will try to keep it in the attacking third. Martinez sends a long ball away from Cox as Charlotte continues to look for any cohesiveness offensively. Nice ball by Cox that time to Martinez. Back comes Charlotte. Alex from 20 deflected, and it just goes wide. Vandergriff got a foot on that one at the edge of the box, and Martinez nearly had his first goal of the season.
Independence corner kick taken by
Instead, it will be the
Jorge
second
Herrera.
Charlotte corner. Jorge Herrera will take a little more time with this one. There you see Vandergriff just getting it, and it just went wide of Alex Kahn. Herrera from the right. Puts it in the 6-yard box. Slogic gets a head on it, but it's cleared out by James Musa. Martinez there to put it back into the attacking third, intercepted by Brian Gall. And here's Jameel Hardware, who's still wearing a cast on his right hand. Has his pocket stripped by Alex Martinez. Herrera now. Back comes Carlos Alvarez with the left foot. And Kahn just made the save. Finley was coming up from behind. That will probably be credited as a shot. Finley looked to deflect that and perhaps get his 5th goal of the year and equalize this game. Instead, it remains 1-0. Here's Lynch coming down looking for the ball. Slogic heads it away. And then Noonan will secure it. Going to get another look at this shot here. Alvarez with an attempt off the left foot. Looked like that one was deflected as well by Marr. Alvarez nearly had his 2nd goal of the year. It remains St. Louis with the advantage, though. Ambersley to the right. Jasecki, the native of South Africa, who played at Western Illinois, another rookie who is all of 24 years old. Duty on the right side, on the right back position. Sam Fink is there. Puts his right foot to it, looking for Hardware, who can't bring it down. And he'll go over the sideline. Charlotte has 14 goals on the year, the same amount that St. Louis has put up. Of course, St. Louis has played 2 more games, Charlotte with 2 games at hand. These two teams tied for 18th in USL in goals scored. Charlotte also looking to keep its 6-game undefeated string at home alive. They haven't lost since opening night when they lost 3-2 to Charleston Battery. You would think that going up against a Midwestern team that's full of rookies would be a much easier task for Independence, but it hasn't worked that way thus far. Hardware tries to put forward for Lynch. That was disrupted by Belial Duckett. Martinez up the field. Oh, nice back heel play by Herrera. Here comes Martinez raging back the other way. Alex tries to put it in the box, taken down by Vandergriff. And he manages to kill that attempt, set up perfectly by Jorge Herrera. Looked like Jorge was held as he moved forward, but the referee ruled advantage. St. Louis comes back. Ambersley. He'll dribble back to the right with Alvarez on his heels. He was looking for Lynch, but Jeremy didn't see that pass coming. In the 30th minute now, still 1-0 after the goal that came in the 6th minute from Parker Marr, assisted by Patrick Duty. Cox rambling down the left side. Jorge Herrera at the top of the box, couldn't control it. Here's Brian Gall, hounded by Herrera. Vandergriff sends it up the field. Jeremy Lynch and Slogic duel. And this time it will be Lynch taking the ball down. Gets an open space. He can create off the dribble very well. Here comes Lynch moving against the taller Slogic. Fires one at the net that was more of an honest attempt that went well wide of the crossbar. Jeremy Lynch, we told you, had that shot that went off the crossbar in the 45th minute in Wilmington the other night in that scoreless draw with the Wilmington Hammerheads. That was really the closest either team came to scoring in the entire 90 minutes. Lynch also had another shot that went off the crossbar during the second half, but he was ruled offside. Here's Martinez. Heads it forward as he wins the ball. Herrera looking for Finley. That's taken down by Vandergriff. Very solid center back play this far in the game for St. Louis. Chad Vandergriff and Sam Fink manning that area of the field. Del Piccolo plays it for Cox. Charlotte looking for something here. This is Del Piccolo on the right. Corkscrews around, evading James Musa. Martinez. Give and go with Del Piccolo. Martinez takes it inside the box, chips it to the right, but it winds up in Jack's Militia. The Militia has come up tonight with their best array of signs so far. Slogic says no. Those bros ain't Royals. That's referring to the Charlotte Royals. And, of course, one word, Independence, along with the banner that expresses and is going to be a trademark at every Independence game in the future, Jack's Militia. So members of St. Louigans have come in here tonight. They have journeyed from the Midwest and spent their 4th of July weekend with their USL team here in the Queen City. We welcome them as well. This is Duty on the right, jostling for the ball with Martinez, and Alex takes it. And a nice sidestep move to break an ankle. Martinez showing off his dribbling. Herrera going after the ball with Vandergriff at midfield, and Vandergriff wins another one. It's been a very solid half for the center back here for St. Louis. Jeremy Lynch. Ambersley going outside. Going into the box will be Hardware. Chipping it in was Ambersley, but that one went behind the net. Take a look at Vandergriff here with Martinez. Alex doing an excellent job as he sidestepped Patrick Duty. But moments later, it would be Chad Vandergriff who would disrupt possession. Vandergriff not only has outdoor experience, but he also played with St. Louis's major indoor soccer league team back in 2014, back when it was known as the MISL, the St. Louis Ambush. Wound up playing 2 years at SMU in Dallas, Texas, before transferring back to St. Louis, where he grew up, finished out his college career with the Billikens. In the 34th minute, Charlotte with a deficit to work from here. They started this homestand coming from behind. Their only come-from-behind win as a franchise against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, and if they want to take 3 points home tonight, they'll have to get another one. Finley running to the right side, offside. Set up very well that time on a fine pass from Paulo Del Piccolo, but again, Finley was ahead of the pack. It appears that St. Louis runs a form of the offside trap, and that one caught up to Charlotte once again, because that's the third time that Finley has been whistled for an offside this half. Alec Kahn from Decatur, Georgia, signed with the Chicago Fire in 2013. Spent 2012 with the Charleston Battery, and right now is on loan from Chicago to St. Louis. Long kick, Hardware in the neighborhood. Hounded by Cox, keeps it in play. St. Louis with possession now, up a goal. Off the marker by Parker Marr, his first in his pro career. And here's the giveaway. Fink tried to send it over a goal, but it was intercepted by Martinez. Up the field, Finley will give it a strong run, try to catch up with it along the right corner, and he does. Finley gets there, plays the corner. Herrera was in the neighborhood, but it was headed out by James Musa. Now Ambersley. Duty sent it up the field. Now he steps in the way of Martinez to take away possession, and it goes out of play off of Musa's head. Fans shielding their eyes here because the sun is going down to the west right in front of them. Having a hard time seeing what's going on. Martinez in the box. Finley was close to the area but was sent out by Oscar Jasecki and over the sideline. Jasecki, another rookie, as we told you, from South Africa. Played 2 years with Borussia Dortmund 2, a German club. Duckett with a long cross, and now be fielded by Kant. So it remains 1-0 in the 36th minute. Jasecki played at Western Illinois after a couple of years in Germany and in Poland. and was named to the Summit Leads All-Conference team and All-Newcomer team as well with the Leathernecks of Western Illinois. Lynch bodied off the ball as he went down, courtesy of a forearm from Andrew Ribeiro. Ambersley moving into the box. The chip goes over the head. Running forward is Gall. He'll beat Martinez to the ball. Duty takes over the rock once again on the left side. Duty assisted on the only goal thus far in the game that came in the 6th minute. There's another long ball. Duckett there to field it. Gall beats Del Piccolo to the spot. Here's Hardware. Hardware was injured against Louisville City when he fell wrong on the turf. Lewis, and he's been wearing that cast really ever since. Duty. And we're going to have a substitution here for St. Louis. So our first substitution of the night comes in the 37th minute. And we're going to see Oscar Giuseppe go off now. And it's going to be number 11. Excuse me, it's number 17. Jacob Bouchou is going to be coming in. So Jacob Bouchou, a rookie from Champaign, Illinois, another man from Indiana. In fact, he was a teammate with Mike Ambersley and Patrick Duty on that Indiana National Championship team back in 2012, coming into the game now. So all three of those players who were teammates with the Hoosiers that brought home the NCAA College Cup on the field here tonight for SLFC, trying to protect this 1-0 lead. Kahn boots it up the field. Ribeiro plays it forward. Martinez with 2 men right behind him. Ambersley over to Gall. Here comes Parker Marr back the other way with space to work with. Now he goes down, and Ribeiro's there to intercept it. Ribeiro to the light for Jorge Herrera, excuse me. Now Martinez. Jorge trotting in now. Moving forward, tries to play the cross, goes down, and it's going to be a goal kick. Another nice defensive job that time by Patrick Duty, who has played very well on both ends of the field thus far here tonight. And he and Martinez on this 1v1 situation that Duty got the best of. Martinez was trying to buy a call, but it was coming inside the box, and it's going to take a lot more than that to get a penalty. So in the 39th minute, Alex is still feeling out his right leg as that errant goal kick by Alec Kahn will give Charlotte the ball right back. Ben Noonan will do the honors. Don't know if you caught the Colorado Rapids game the other night in the U.S. Open Cup against Houston, as there was a mix-up there as Herrera went down off a shove from Sam Fink, and the pass that was intended for him wound up going off his body. In that Open Cup game, there were 2 former Charlotte players who played in the starting 11 for the Rapids in that 1-0 loss to the Houston Dynamo. Charles Alondu, who started the first game for Charlotte Independence against Charleston, eventually was called up by Colorado, and Marlon Hairston. Marlon's last game was in the first game of this homestand when he wound up assisting on a goal in the Charlotte victory. Shortly afterwards, the Rapids called him right back up. Alondu was replaced in the second half of that game, but Hairston played all 90 minutes. Here's Martinez. Duty grabbing at his jersey, and that's enough to get a foul called. As we come up on the final 5 minutes of the first half, Charlotte started this game quite sluggishly. Opening 10 minutes controlled by St. Louis, and it turned into a tally from Parker Marr, an assist from Patrick Duty. Hardware's got it right back. Lynch tries to give and go. Cox is there to shut that down. Raphael goes down, and Hardware gets the foul. Hardware has been playing with that cast, and he went the whole way the other night against Wilmington on Wednesday. And starting here this evening, Del Piccolo goes to the far end. Cox started to send the cross in, plays it short for Herrera. Now Ribeiro to the right, fires from 22 yards, and it goes wide to the right. Don't see too many shots from that distance from Ribeiro, That's only his 5th shot of the entire season. He's more of a defensive midfielder, but he's trying to do something to loosen up against this St. Louis defense. So in the 41st minute, it's still 1-0. Long ball ahead that Duckett wins. Musa swipes in. Herrera shoves him aside. Ambersley to Duty. Now it goes to Brian Gall. Up the field, Lynch. But it was Duckett who touched it last, even though Ben Newnham thought it was vice versa. As you would expect, lots of fireworks celebrations, and lots of people have come out after a nice day around the hot dog grill or wherever they may be and decide to wind up this 4th of July by watching Charlotte Independence play. Martinez taken down, and even though the assistant didn't mark anything, it was Leland Grant coming up from behind and calling the foul. Brian Gall can't believe it. And now Alex Martinez is being warned by Leland Grant. And Leland Grant made a signal to Mike Jeffries saying, "I've heard enough from Martinez." So Martinez was fouled. Apparently he and Gall came up saying and exchanging pleasantries with one another, and then Leland Grant came over and signaled to Mike Jeffries, "I've heard enough from him. Next time will be a red card." Ball in the box. It was Alvarez looking for Finley. Ryan has appeared frustrated tonight that he can't get a proper service his way as that one eluded him. Martinez has 1 yellow this year, and he's knocking on the door of another. Here's Gall. Plays one out of the sky. Hardware. This is going to be Lynch chasing a one to the far end of the field, looking inside the box for Gall. Duckett there to head it away. And then to get out of trouble, it's Martinez. As we're coming up on the 44th minute now. And St. Louis holding on to a 1-0. Duty with a long time between plays here. Taking a lengthy amount of time to get this throw in. Finally does so. Hardware. Tracked down from behind by Martinez and Newnham. Alex wins the possession right back. Here's Rivera to Duckett. And that pass, Newnham there to chest it down and keep it in play as Charlotte tries to mount up one more attack before the half ends. Martinez very upset with himself over that long ball. Kahn is there to put it away. So it remains 1-0. Rafael Cox with the interception at midfield. Independence tries to bounce back. Ribeiro will leave it for Newnham. Hill pounce up on the right channel. Martinez defended loosely by Brian Gall. Those two have had running dialogue throughout the course of this game. Duckett to Ribeiro. Andrew tries to break to the center of the field, but can't find anything free. As we told you, St. Louis is a very stingy team defensively. This is a defensive-minded squad that Chris Schilly has his way. Now Martinez goes down. Gall is going to be hit with the yellow card. Well, we told you that duel between Martinez and Gall has been chippy throughout the night. There was another foul drawn by Martinez, and ultimately it results in Gall picking up the yellow. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Martinez wind up with the yellow himself before the night is over with, because it appears that referee Leland Grant is going to put up with very little.
Yellow card issued again.
This is going to be the 3rd yellow of the year for Brian Gall.
In the 45th minute.
Martinez went down face first there. One that clearly Gall did not agree with, and it resulted with the caution. Our first booking of the night. Newnham looking to the right for Martinez. Instead goes in the box. Alvarez couldn't poke it free because Sam Fink was there to disrupt it, and Alvarez touched it last. So Sam Fink in that right defensive line for St. Louis has been very, very good throughout the course of this game. You have Sam Fink, and we've told you over and over again about Patrick Duty, and of course Chad Vandergrift, the center back as well. they have eluded any chances for Charlotte to get penetration inside the box. And another poor goal kick that time from Kahn. That's his second straight. Minutes of added time here. So we'll go into about the 47-minute range. Martinez plays a much better long ball for Finley this time. Vandergrift, though, beats him to it. And Chad does an excellent job of keeping the ball in play and sends that one off of Finley into the seats. And St. Louis will take possession back as we have roughly a minute to play. So Charlotte just in a funk offensively right now, as this will be their longest stint between goals this year. They will play it unless they can come up with something late here. 90 minutes without a goal. Shoved down from behind. That's in USL play. The foul against Lynch, against Ribeiro. And now Leland Grant comes on, and he is going to issue a yellow to Jeremy Lynch. That will be his second yellow of the year. And it's clear that Leland Grant
Yellow card issued against St. Louis FC.
Issued all of the warnings without bookings that he is going to give in the first 40 minutes of this game. And now cards are going to be given out to the slightest amount of dissent. Herrera will try to put it in the box. As time runs out in the first half, Slogic gets up in the air, but that was put away by Musa. And James Musa has done a very good job for St. Louis of getting up in the air. He's only 6 feet. He's given up about 3 inches to Patrick Slogic, but nonetheless, he managed to head that free kick away, and that's the end of the first half. So, the 6-minute score by Parker Moore on the assist from Patrick Duty was enough to give St. Louis the lead at the end of 45 minutes of play. And Charlotte now has gone over 100 minutes without a goal. Suddenly, Charlotte is looking for a spark offensively, and that shouldn't happen on the 4th of July, but that's the case right now as Independence trails St. Louis in the first ever matchup between these two teams, 1-0 here at the break. We're going to pause here from the Ramblewood Soccer Complex and get ready for the second half. We'll have highlights of the first half coming up here in just a moment as you take a look at Jack's Militia sporting the red, white, and blue, both when it comes to the American flag and the state flag of North Carolina here tonight in the Queen City. And in North Carolina's largest city, the score at the end of 45 minutes is St. Louis 1, Charlotte Independence 0. It has been 91 minutes without a goal in USL play now for Charlotte Independence as they trail St. Louis at the half 1-0. In St. Louis's only appearance this year at Ramblewood Soccer Complex. So we'll take a look at the goal here that came for St. Louis in the 6th minute of the game. And it came from none other than Parker Marr, native of Fort Smith, Arkansas, who scored his first professional goal off this header, set up beautifully by Patrick Duty as he headed it right past Charlotte goalkeeper Matt Lamson. And we'll have another angle of it here, and look at this left-footed delivery that managed to get over 6'6" Patrick Slogic and somehow find the noggin of Patrick Marr, Parker Marr, as he put it into the net. Charlotte had some opportunities as well. This was Alex Martinez entering the box, and Chad Vandergrift deflected that one wide to the right, resulting in a corner that Charlotte couldn't take advantage of. Carlos Alvarez had a shot that was deflected there by Sam Fink and allowed the goalkeeper for St. Louis, Alec Kahn, to catch up with it there. And then this beautiful back heel play by Jorge Herrera, very similar to how he set up Charlotte's first ever goal on opening night against Charleston. But again, Chad Vandergrift was stellar in breaking that up. In that back line of St. Louis, Sam Fink, Oscar Giuseppe started the game, only to be replaced in the 41st minute by Jacob Bushu. And then you had Chad Vandergrift in there along with Patrick Duty. They have manned that back four very, very well and shut down Charlotte's attempts at trying to even this game. And thus far, the goal by Parker Marr from the 6th minute has stood. And St. Louis will open up the second half going into the sun here as it begins to die down over the trees as the 4th of July evening begins to find itself present across the Queen City as Charlotte and St. Louis wind down this important USL affair in Charlotte's 13th game of the season. Coming up next week, the official halfway point of the year for Charlotte when they take on Louisville City up at Louisville Slugger Stadium next Saturday. That'll be Charlotte's first ever trip. Of course, LCFC came to Charlotte in what turned out to be Charlotte's first ever victory as a franchise, 1-0 on May the 2nd. When Patrick Slogic scored from Enzo Martinez. St. Louis will try to hold on to this 1-0 lead as we begin the second half. And you see Jacob Bushu there, defended by Alex Martinez. Remember, 2 players booked for St. Louis before the half ended, as one of the players was Brian Gall, and then another yellow card came for Jeremy Lynch later on. So Charlotte looking for something here offensively as Bilal Duckett, and the breeze begins to pick up here as we start the second half of play.
Fans, an update on a Charlotte substitution over halftime. Entering the game, number 11, Jack Thompson.
Jack Thompson has entered the game for Charlotte,
14, Raphael Cox.
And Raphael Cox has gone out. So there is a substitution for Charlotte, the first of the 5 they are allotted in this game. It is Jack Thompson who scored the first ever goal in franchise history coming in. Cox will take a seat. So Charlotte's giving up some protection along that back line. They'll play with a 3-man back now. Thompson more of a midfielder. And he's in the game right now with the ball. So you can tell that Mike Jeffries is concerned about this drought offensively for Independence and is trying to do something about it right here, as they are 92 minutes without a goal and counting. Thompson trying to take that flick from Martinez. Thompson goes down, play continues. Referee rules advantage. Running up forward is Finley now on the end line. Plays it forward, looking for a cross, but he didn't have the traction. So Jack Thompson is the only rookie on the team coming into the game now. As we told you, he scored the first goal in franchise history. The native of Hudson, Ohio, who went to Messiah College. That's a Division III team in Grantham, Pennsylvania. Played 20 games in 2014, scoring 10 goals and 13 assists. And he's made enough of an impression to play regularly here for Independence throughout the course of the season. Coming in as the first substitution of the night for the Jacks as they trail 1-0. Throw by Alvarez. Herrera with a quick touch looking for Del Piccolo. Here's Ribeiro now. Patrick Slogic, still the center back, even though Cox is out of the game. As of late, we had seen Slogic before Meshach Jerome reported to the Haitian national team Slogic had been playing some of the wingback positions. In fact, had been a charging wingback at that. Something you don't see every day from a player who's 6'6". Ambersley tried to disrupt that pass for Ribeiro, but Belial Duckett is there to keep the ball in Charlotte hands, so to speak. This is Ribeiro to Del Piccolo. Long ball coming to the near sideline. Jack Thompson saves it. 1v1 into the box. Finley is there. Here comes Martinez. Not as golden opportunity as he would like because Sam Fink was standing in Martinez's way. All 6'2" of Sam Fink, who played his college ball not too far away from here in Winston-Salem with Wake Forest. Had 74 caps with the Demon Deacons. Managed to get in his way. Didn't mean to offend any UNC fans who might be in the area, of course, with that Wake Forest reference. Enzo Martinez, in the interest of equal time, did play at UNC as well. And now we have a shoving match between Gall and Carlos Alvarez. Carlos wound up getting in his face. Ribeiro has to call Alvarez off. And it looks like Alvarez is going to come away with this with a caution. He will. So that's the first player in the book for Charlotte tonight, and Brian Gall continues to find himself in the center of disputes. Let's take a look at what started this year. Alvarez with the shove there. So for Carlos, that will be his first yellow of the season. It's going to turn into a free kick here as the players line up along the 18-yard box.
Yellow card issued against the Independence.
So Alvarez with his first yellow.
Alvarez.
Here's Ambersley going in the box. Gall tries to keep it in play, does so with the back. Slogic heads it on. This is danger for Hardware, but his shot went well into the mech deck overhead and into the seats. The mech deck is where Jack's Militia will call home. And you see them stationed all along on this lovely 4th of July evening as Independence looks for the equalizer against SLFC. Here's Gall. Ambersley plays it forward, grab from behind. Del Piccolo hit with the foul. St. Louis is looking for its first win in quite some time. They have not won in its last 8 games. They've had 5 draws and 3 losses. Charlotte trying to keep its string of undefeated or not losses, undefeated string at home alive here at home. Of course, that spreads across 3 different facilities. Charlotte, nonetheless, has not lost since opening night. In the 51st minute now, and Charlotte about to trigger in a throw. Ribeiro does so. Herrera heads it on. Finley tries to find a teammate, but he can't. Gall intercepts for St. Louis. And then Ribeiro sends it down the field. St. Louis also has not scored multiple goals in its last 6 games. Looking to end that streak tonight as well. They've made 1 substitution with Gushu coming in for Oscar Giuseppe. This is Maul. Nice back heel trip. Up the field, Ambersley comes in the box. That is broken up by Duck. It goes to the end line, and it's going to be a goal kick. Nice defending by Slogic that time. As the center back who had that free kick by Patrick Duty go right over his head earlier on and find the noggin of Parker Marr. Managed to do his job defensively there. It's one of the few times that Patrick has been beaten this year defensively. As that spot-on kick by Duty found the right man. Quick little flick by Finley looking for Herrera. That's intercepted by Fink. But Kahn sends it out of play as we're in the 53rd minute. 1-0 St. Louis with the lead. Goal came in the 6th minute. Ambersley Plays it up the
Don't forget,
field.
fans,
That's
should
cut
you
off.
need
Del
medical
Piccolo.
attention during the game, please visit the Purple Novant Health Tent.
Slogic will play to the left. This is Jack Thompson, who just checked in moments ago. Ribeiro, Slogic, Lyle Duckett. On the right, Ambersley doing a good job of pressing, and he forces the turnover. Here comes Ambersley right back. Could be a strong opportunity for a counter. Running strong is Ambersley, but a nice job by Slogic to beat him to the ball. A much smaller man, I might add, to the ball. Hardware gains it right back. Off the play by Bouchou, who was overplaying the ball on the right side. Parker Marr, left foot pass. Lynch with an opportunity, and now go into the parking lot. Well, the testosterone got the best of one Jeremy Lynch that time, who was certainly leading fifth goal, as that one went over the mech deck and might have even cleared a couple of vehicles. So the one-time goalkeeper here, Matt Lamson, in his first start for Independence. He's got a 5-game loan here from Columbus Crew SC, and we'll see what happens from that point forward. John Berner, the regular goalkeeper for Independence, out 6 to 8 weeks because of a broken cheekbone that he suffered in Charlotte's second-round U.S. Open Cup game with the Carolina Railhawks in Cary. That injury occurred about 4 weeks ago. So Berner's getting closer and closer to returning. Whether he'll be back next week for Louisville City or the week after that against Rochester remains to be seen. Ball to the end line. Gall played that one too long, and anything that Gall does wrong now gets a derisive cheer from Jack's Militia at the end zone. Here comes Thompson. Ball went off the back of Hardware. Slogic can't get it from Hardware. Jamil, the Ugandan native, takes it back to Mike Ambersley. Now here comes a nice flick by Brian Gall. Lynch to Hardware. On the right side, stripped away by Alex Martinez. Now Bouchou comes over, and it's fielded out of play by Thompson. You see some of the flags there. That teal is pretty much a universal sign for all the teams here in the Charlotte area. That teal and is, of course, the color of the Charlotte Hornets. In fact, the Hornets unveiled some uniforms last week, along with the announcement they'll be hosting the All-Star Game in a few years for the first time since 1991. And you see the state flag of North Carolina, along with the American flag and the Revolutionary flag as well. Charlotte Independence, the name of the team was named for Captain Jared Jack, who was the man who rode from Charlotte to Philadelphia with the Constitution Papers, which of course became the Declaration of Independence in 1775. In fact, if you see any Charlotte logo with the number 1775, that's why, just before the nation's birthday. Here's Alex Martinez running to the right now, trying to play in the box. That one eluded Herrera. Sam Fink will blast it out of play. And a fan makes a nice catch. Has some St. Louis fans here tonight. One of them had a very interesting banner that I'll tell you about in a moment. First of all, Martinez charges into the attacking third. Herrera now, top of the box. Nice chip in. Coming out of net is Kahn to make the play. St. Louis has a player named Kentaro Takada. And, of course, he's from Japan, and they have a banner on the near side that they've hoisted, some of the St. Louisans who have made their way from the Midwest to Charlotte for this weekend, with the flag, very similar, of Japan on their banner, and they have bravery written in Japanese, along with Kentaro's name written in Japanese as well. One of the people who held up that banner was actually a person who served in the military and was stationed in Japan. And that's how he knew Japanese and got to write Japanese. Ball out of play. James Musa sent it off Paulo Del Piccolo, and he'll go back to St. Louis now as we're in the 57th minute. Each side has made a substitution, but thus far the goal from Parker Marr has stood, as it is 1-0 off the assist from Patrick Duty. For Marr, his first professional goal, as two rookies hooked up on the only goal of the game. Martinez, as Ribeiro worked hard to earn the loose ball, and he got it. Martinez moves to the right against Gall, chips it into the box. Herrera to Martinez from the edge. Ball's chipped in, takes a funny hop, and it'll be fielded out of play. Nicely done by Bouchou. As it came in awkwardly, Martinez sent the little chip in, and it looked like Gall deflected it, and it started to come in on net. Bouchou was willing to give up the corner. So Herrera will send it in now from set pieces. As Charlotte will try to do some damage here. They've been unable to do anything in the free flow of this game. Herrera blasted in, comes into the right, and Kahn comes right over, bodies himself against Ribeiro, and takes down the ball. As we approach the 59th minute here, it is 1-0 St. Louis. And a game that got a little chippy around the 40-minute mark, and we've had 3 bookings in the last 20 minutes, 2 against St. Louis. Lynch collected the pass that went off a leg from Hardware. Now it's Musa. James Musa from Plymouth, England. Moved to New Zealand back in 1999 and has played in several professional leagues. He is among the more experienced players for St. Louis in his 6th year as a professional. Second only on the team's Mike Ambersley, who just puts that ball ahead to Jeremy Lynch. Down the right sideline, Lynch is there to keep it in play. Moves in against Thompson, steps in on the left in the box. Nicely over to Gall. Now Ambersley at the top. Couldn't get the shot away because of Ribeiro. Chips it behind Hardware, went off his back. Hardware went for a bicycle kick, but it wound up going off his shoulder blade. And Bilal Duckett is there to create the turnover. Back comes Independence. Here comes Alvarez up the field. Herrera hugs the far sideline. Steps in against Musa. Musa goes down. Herrera keeps going, and a foul will be called against Jorge. Jorge shaking hands with Jacob Bouchou, or excuse me, that's Sam Fink who was fouled. Jorge just tripped him up along his right leg.
We'd like to take a moment to thank a few of our sponsors.
So Charlotte now,
Ortho Carolina,
15 minutes into the second half, still looking for its first goal since the 90th minute of the game against Charleston that turned out to be the game winner from Tomas Ohorski. That was the last Charlotte result, 2-1. Alex Martinez going for a loose ball against Bouchou. And Bouchou is going to be called for grabbing the shorts of Martinez. Jacob Bouchou, another rookie, as we told you. The native of Champaign, Illinois, a teammate of Mike Ambersley at Indiana, named to the 2013 All-Big Ten team and the All-Tournament team for that year. Rushing on, Thompson plays it for Martinez, who enters the 18. Here's Herrera at the goal mouth now. Circles to the left and fires, and on to save, it's Alec Kahn. First time in a long time that Alec Kahn has been challenged, and it comes on from Jorge Herrera, who was bidding to tie Ryan Finley for the team lead in goals and nearly did it. The wind will carry this ball deep into the other end of the field and make for an easy pickup for Mac Lamson. And Charlotte wants to keep the pressure on now as Lamson keeps the ball in his hands for a very short amount of time. Del Pico with long ball. That one leads to nothing. We talked about Jorge Herrera, the first player ever signed by Charlotte Independence back in January, shortly after the franchise started up. The official announcement came, of course, in December, and Jorge, after years with the Charlotte Eagles, the longtime USL team, decided to cross over and play in USL. The veteran from Bogota, Colombia, in his 11th year as a professional. And it looks like that Charlotte's going to be going to the bench here in just a moment. Another sub coming up for Mike Jeffries in just a second as we see a starter, or rather a bench player, take his warm-up off. St. Louis back the other way with Brian Gall. Left-footed kick. Parker Marr charges into the box now ahead of Thompson. Ambersley tried to fire on the volley, almost a handball. At least Ambersley thought so. Nothing called. Ribeiro up the field, looks for Herrera and gets it to him. Finley charges. Ball goes over his head. That was headed away by Vandergriff. And the takeaway by James Musa. Long lead pass. Hardware trying to catch up with it. Does so against the taller Slogic. Puts it on net. And that's fielded cleanly by Matt Lamson. Alvarez. Charlotte with a quick counter now. Martinez will let the ball roll to him. Vandergriff breaks that one up immediately. Fink to the right. Passes it to midfield. This is Marr who scored the goal. And the ball will be kicked out of play. And we're going to have a substitution here. as we have an injured St. Louis player. That's Hardware, who's still down. You see him wearing a cast, and Hardware, after that run a moment ago, has not moved his right leg. Meanwhile, Charlotte is going to send in its second sub of the game. And I believe this could be a debuting player. Let's see. Instead, Hardware is being worked on. And indeed, I think we are going to see the debut for Charlotte of Henry Kalungi, who was signed on Thursday. Kalungi is going to check into the game here. He's wearing number 15. Let's see, number 18 tonight, I believe it is. We were told he had a change of uniform earlier today, but Kalungi was signed on Thursday. Hardware still down. He's going to be limping off the field, and he could be pressed into forcing Dale Shilley to make his second substitution. Looks like Carlos Alvarez is going off the field. And Kalungi is going to come on. Henry Kalungi, wearing number 16, coming in, making his debut. There he is. So Carlos Alvarez will go out, and now Hardware is going to go off the field.
Charlotte substitution entering the game, number 16, Daniel Jackson.
Oh, excuse me, Daniel Jackson. We were told Kalungi was wearing 16, but apparently it's Daniel Jackson. So Daniel Jackson coming into play. It's the first time he's seen action since the season opener. Back the other way, as right now St. Louis is playing with 10 men, but nonetheless, that is Bryce Kingsley coming into the game. Or Kingsley Bryce, excuse me. And he's going to force a corner now, as Kingsley Bryce is in the game for Jameel Hardware. So Hardware is out of the game now. That will be the second substitution for St. Louis, and Kingsley Bryce, who started on Wednesday against Wilmington, is in the game now in the 65th minute.
Exiting injured number 7, Jameel Hardware.
Daniel Jackson in, somewhat of a surprise substitution.
St. Louis corner kick taken by number 22, Patrick Duty.
And now here's Duty with the corner coming on. Lynch had a chance at it, but he didn't make very much contact. He'll be disappointed with that effort. And there to head it up, Martinez. Up the field for Finley. Now Herrera. Bushu comes on to defend. And they rule it went off Herrera last and out of play. So each side making two substitutions now. Swiping in with the substitution and the steal, Alex Martinez got the ball away from Bryce. Far in, Rivera.
As your Independence take on Louisville City FC kickoff set.
And now Daniel Jackson, who's playing for the first time since the season opener against Charleston way back in March. He's remained on the roster, and young man who played extensively during some of the friendlies against Winthrop and against the Carolina Railhawks. Nice ball by Martinez. Up the ball, Finley will fire! And another nice save by Alec Kahn. Finley had a golden opportunity once again with the right foot as Martinez creates the scoring opportunity, but he just couldn't get it past Alec Kahn. Slogic will head it back. So Ryan Finley unable to cash in on what would have been his 5th goal of the season, and it remains 1-0. Long run ahead for Danny Jackson. Ball played out by Sam Fink. He'll concede the throw. Herrera. Charlotte has struggled to get into a flow offensively for this entire game. They're trying to change that right now. In the box, Finley turns, can't complete it. Top of the box, Martinez plays it along, Jackson! And what a way for Danny Jackson to score and equalize the game. As surprising a name as you will find on the score sheet tonight. Danny Jackson has equalized the game in the 68th minute. White Whale Holy Grail. It is Danny Jackson with his first goal as a pro. Danny Jackson winds up scoring. It's been a long time between stints for that young man. But Danny Jackson scores, and Charlotte has equalized the game. Alex Martinez will pick up the assist. That's his second assist. And Charlotte has equalized the game. Tries the other way quickly. Right in front of the box. Golden opportunity for Lynch, and it's going to be a corner. Lyle Duckett couldn't believe the call against him for the corner. Very upset over it. But St. Louis wasted no time after Danny Jackson equalized the game and getting a corner and putting a threat right back.
FC corner kick taken by number 22, Patrick Duty.
So it is Jackson from Martinez to tie the game here, with just over 20 minutes remaining in regulation. Danny just blasted it home on the right side within 10 minutes of checking into the game. Patrick Duty will supply the corner, coming to the right, chips it in, headed up by Ambersley, but cleared out by Lyle Duckett. Running to the right, keeping it in play is Brian Gall. Fink will blast it up the left channel. Gall will have an opportunity to move in against Jackson, keeps it in the box. Lynch has it go over his head. He'll try to run it down. Martinez can't catch up with him. Here's Bouchou now. He'll look in the box. Play it to the right, but Lynch had already started for the box. Here's Danny Jackson once again, and boy, did he not only score this goal, but he just blasted it. Finley had the initial opportunity there. Then Martinez led to the right, and look at Danny Jackson put the finisher on. He equalized the game at 1, and Alex Martinez was the happiest man in the house that Danny Jackson, a player playing in just his second game of the year, and that includes Open Cup play, winds up scoring the equalizer here tonight for Independence on Independence Day. Left side, Martinez shoved off by Bouchou. Play continues. Marr heads it along. Del Piccolo keeps it going. Long ball. Sent up by Fink. Slogic catches up with it. We're in the 70th minute now, and we're all square. Charlotte kicking into the wind, and that wind played a lot of games with Matt Lampson's kick there and the attempt to clear, but a shove off by Ambersley. And that is whistled for a foul. Wind is blowing in onto the west goal now, and that's really wreaking havoc with a lot of the balls that Charlotte tries to clear. And it did so with Lampson there. Here comes Del Piccolo back the other way. Since the ball will be held up again by the wind. Vandergriff got to it first, but Martinez controls now. He's stripped away from behind. Here comes the great Musa. On the right, Gall ahead for Ambersley on the back heel, looking for Musa, instead stripped and stolen by Duckett. Quick touch by Herrera, again looking for Jackson. Instead, that's stripped away by Marr. And here comes St. Louis FC trying to retake the lead here as we wind down the stretch here on this Independence Day matchup. Lynch, misdirected pass, Slogic there to pick it off. Here comes Ribeiro playing on the right. Herrera let that ball go through. Jackson up the field. Here comes Finley to the right. Plays it in for Herrera. Court screws around in the box. Jackson again! And it pops off the arms of Kahn and out of play. Well, so for someone who hasn't played all that much, Danny Jackson is wasting no time in making his presence felt. Jorge Herrera will put on the corner. That was a thunderous shot put forward by Danny Jackson that time that ricocheted off the body of Kahn and over the inline. Herrera's corner now. Up in the air, Slogic, and it's headed off the goal line. Headed away that time. It appeared by Sam Fink. Top of the box, Ribeiro has it deflected away by Lynch, and that will go over the sideline. Looked like that Fink got his head on that one. Let's take a look. Have a restart here, so we'll get another look at it later on. First of all, here comes Del Piccolo now over the end line, and Charlotte will have another corner. And Slogic nearly had his third goal of the year, and it could have been his second game winner. Let's see here. It was headed on the end line, and it looked like Sam Fink was the man who was in there. That's why you put your big bodies up front. The 6'2" Fink saved the lead for St. Louis. Herrera in the box. Again, it's free. Loose in the 6-yard box. Then headed out quickly by Musa. There to bring it back into play. Here's Noonan. Kicked away from the side. Boosby there. This is Danny Jackson as the lines get thwarted out somewhat. Quick touch by Ribeiro. Herrera with room. He'll fire left foot, and it's just deflected over the crossbar. Vandergriff upset with himself. He didn't clear that one better. And Jorge Herrera almost had his 5th goal of the year.
Independence corner kick taken by number 10.
Instead, Herrera will put forward another corner as Charlotte continues to knock on the door. St. Louis will send another man to the reserve table. Here's Herrera now. Kahn got a right hand to it and belts it away. Ambersley waiting for it. Martinez there to put pressure on him. And he strips away the ball. Jackson away. Duckett. Martinez puts it in the box. That's over Finley's head. Vandergriff is there to clear it momentarily. Herrera will supply it and keep it in the box. 1v2 situation. Vandergriff heads it out of the box. And now Gall sends it away to Marr. And St. Louis will take off up the field. Lynch gets ahead on that one. Slogic will take it down. So Charlotte with several good opportunities, but Sam Fink was the man who wound up heading that ball off the end line on the header by Slogic that could have given Charlotte a 2-1 lead. Slogic to the right, sends it up the field. It's behind Jackson. That was Duty there to clear that one. Coming up on 15 minutes remaining in regulation. Again, it's Slogic crossing the midfield line here as Charlotte equalizes the game. Long ball ahead, and it's going to be offside against Ryan Finley. And with that, we'll have a substitution for St. Louis. This will be their 3rd of the game. And it looks like that 15, Mike Ambersley, will be leaving the game. Here's Jackson's opportunity again that nearly gave one of 2 great chances to give Charlotte the lead, and it had so much power on it that it wound up bouncing right off the goalkeeper, Alec Kahn. So we're going to see number 7, Charles Rankin, coming in for St. Louis.
The game, number 15, Mike Ambersley.
Take a look at Herrera's opportunity. Actually, there were several great chances here. Herrera, Kahn had to field this one, and he just tipped it over the crossbar. So Charles Rankin comes on, and this is a young man who's had a very curious career. Early on, he made such a strong impression out of Edwardsville, Illinois. He was born in Zambia. When he was 13, he moved to the United States, and he made such a strong early impression that he gathered attention from all of the reserve teams in the English Premier League. And there were even impressions and early comparisons made to him of Freddie Adu back when he was the rage. Here's Herrera back the other way. Short entry in the box, went past Martinez, intercepted by Fink. Here comes James Musa now, looking to get it up the field for Lynch and unable to do so. Now they rule it went off of Herrera out of play, and it'll go to St. Louis. So Rankin is the 3rd substitution in the game now for St. Louis. Rankin had the game-tying goal in St. Louis's 1-1 tie against Louisville City. He was cut from Arizona United last August. What really hurt Rankin was the fact that he tore his ACL in consecutive years. Back in 2012 and 13, and he's really struggled to work his way back up to the level that he had back when he was younger. Rankin again fires from the left side there, and he missed the net. Now in his 2nd year as a pro, he actually thrived on the U.S. Under-17 team. He was dominant in a 2-0 win over Brazil in a friendly. A lot of people thought that MLS or perhaps even a higher level of soccer would be in his career, but he's battled a lot of injuries. And now he plays coming off the bench for the St. Louis team. This is his 15th appearance. He started 6 games this year. Rankin comes on for a charge trying to win possession, but Newnham is there to head it away and put it into the arms of Matt Lamson. The breeze continues to blow a little stronger now as Charlotte is heading into that wind. And Independence will have to deal with that in an attempt to gain the lead. Short little ball by Martinez to keep it in play. Herrera's dribbling skills send it away to Jackson. Now Martinez, top of the box, tried to whisk it to the side for Jackson, nothing doing as it was taken away. Back the other way, here comes Rankin. He'll move down against Belisle Duckett in open field. Steps over the ball a couple of times. Ventures into the box, leaves it for Lynch, but the pass was behind him. Lynch fell to the turf trying to buy a foul, but nothing doing. Jack Thompson ahead. Ribeiro plays it for Slogic. We're in the 79th minute. Charlotte getting the game-tying goal. Danny Jackson scores his first goal, and now a takeaway. Rankin there on the box on the errant clear attempt, but the pass looking for Gall was behind him, or excuse me, Marr. Now Bryce attempted to field that ball, but Thompson is there to clear, and Charlotte can mount a counter here. It's for attack. Here's Martinez moving down to the left. Step over move on Grandergriff. He'll move to the left inside, forced to the outside on the end line, keeps it in play, but can't buy a corner. And with that, Charlotte will have another substitution. This will be their third of the game. And it looks like Ryan Finley is going to go out. Finley will report out of the game. And Caleb Calvert is going to report in. Caleb has come in off the bench in all but one of the USL games this year. Officially, Caleb does not have an assist, although really he should have been credited with one, the equalizer in Charlotte's second ever game against the Wilmington Hammerheads way back in early April. Calvert had a header that Martinez cashed in. For some reason, I guess it was the scoring that night in Wilmington, he was not given an assist. So he enters this game officially scoreless in his USL campaign. In the 80th minute, St. Louis scored in the 6th minute on a goal from Parker Marr, off an assist by Patrick Doody. Charlotte equalized. Danny Jackson scoring in just his second game of the year for Independence. A blast off an assist by Alex Martinez, who collected his second assist. That's in USL action, but of course Alex had an assist also on Tuesday night on the goal by Thomas Ohorski 3 minutes into the game in the U.S. Open Cup loss to the Chicago Fire. Inside 10 minutes and change remaining in regulation. Jackson with good ball control to send it up the field. Calvert plays it along. Herrera mans the right side. Down the field comes Danny Jackson, hugging the far sideline. Tries to move past Sam Fink, but the rookie shields Jackson off the ball and out of play. And we'll have another substitution here for Charlotte. This will be their fourth. And it looks like Andrew Ribeiro will be going out of the game. Let's see here. Nope, it's going to be Alex Martinez leaving the game. And coming in for him will be Enzo Martinez. And now, coming in for St. Louis, Kentaro Takada, who we told you about earlier, he will enter the contest. He'll be the fourth substitution for St. Louis. So Takada comes on. Short ball for Calvert, tried a back heel trip for Martinez, but couldn't get it. And it's cleared up the field.
Charlotte substitution entering the game at number 10, Kentaro Takada.
So Takada comes in for St. Louis
Number 9, Jeremy Lynch.
for Jeremy Lynch. So a new attacker in there for St. Louis. The leading scorer leaves the contest for SLFC.
Charlotte substitution.
And we mentioned Martinez.
19, Enzo Martinez. Exiting the game, number 23, Alex Martinez.
And in fact, he replaces his brother, Alex Martinez. So Enzo in the game. Here's Jack Thompson. Each side has a substitution remaining. Softball by Enzo Martinez. Paulo Del Piccolo inside the box. Corkscrew with the left foot. Goes over everything. So Enzo Martinez has checked in along with Danny Jackson and Caleb Calvert. Those are the substitutes that have reported in thus far in the second half for Independence as they look to take the lead here.
The players will be making their way over shortly after the final whistle. For your safety,
Kahn with the ball up the field. Duckett to Ribeiro, who chested ahead. Andrew now leads the team in minutes played, incidentally, and also appearances. Jackson up the field. Here comes Finley trying to keep it in play, or excuse me, Caleb Calvert trying to keep it in play. Ribeiro attempts to head it down. Jack Thompson, another substitute that came in at the very beginning of the second half. Slogic moves to the right as we approach 7 minutes remaining in regulation and a giveaway. This is Takada racing forward, 3-on-3 situation. He finds his man ahead. This is Bryce shooting, and he left it over the net. Or Rankin, excuse me, with the opportunity. Running down to the right with a chance to win the game for St. Louis, but Charles Rankin left it over. Slogic came on late in an opportunity to thwart that shot, and he succeeded. Takada created that opportunity coming off the bench there for St. Louis. And SLFC let an opportunity go right there. Let one slip right through their hands. This is Ribeiro moving past several players to keep the ball in play. Danny Jackson. Del Piccolo. Looking up the field, Duckett, but he can't find anyone open along the right sideline. Thompson is there, but not a very high percentage pass. And the ball goes out of play. Wasted possession there for Independence as we approach the 85th minute. So if this result stands, it will be 7 straight games where Charlotte hasn't lost at home. But they would love the full 3 points because at last report, Pittsburgh was leading the New York Red Bulls 1-0 at the half. Right now, the Riverhounds lead Charlotte by 3 points for the final playoff spot. Takada throws the ball ahead. Marr sends it away. This is Bryce with it. Tried to find the overlapping Bouchou, is intercepted by Thompson. Short ball ahead. And Pittsburgh now ahead 3-0 from what we understand in that long ball that Enzo Martinez put forward for Caleb Calvert. Winds up in the hands of Kahn. So Charlotte needs to get another goal if they are to remain only 3 points back of the Riverhounds by the end of tonight. Otherwise, it'll be another step backwards for Charlotte in their hopes to make the playoffs. Although the Red Bulls are also ahead of Independence. Not that far ahead of Pittsburgh. Herrera with a nice touch. Martinez! Another nice opportunity there that Kahn was there to field. And unlike the first 40 minutes of this game, Charlotte has really poured it on St. Louis here over the course of the second half with some grand opportunities. Herrera has had one after another. That ball deflected by Bouchou. St. Louis felt that it went off of Thompson over the end line, but the referee says goal kick. Charles Rankin mouthing off to the assistant over that call. And the 86th minute now. Noonan to the right, and a giveaway. Sam Fink came up to make the interception. Here's Marr. Takada sends it away to Parker Marr. We have a tackle and a foul, and there could be more. Ribeiro hit with a foul, and he'll be hit with a red card or yellow card as well. That's Ribeiro's 3rd yellow of the season. Get another look at this here. As Andrew made the long charge to Parker Marr.
Yellow card issued against the Independence.
It was a hard challenge.
On number 6, Andrew
He's screaming
Ribeiro.
that he got all ball. So now it will be Patrick Duty with the free kick from the far sideline. St. Louis putting their taller players in front. Ball comes in, but there to field it very easily is Matt Lamson. And the Cleveland, Tennessee native will bring it down, and Charlotte will look for another chance here at a game-winning goal. Slogic boots it forward. Herrera. Far sideline. This is Enzo Martinez. Soft toss in the box. Herrera couldn't quite get there. It was the rookie, Alec Kahn, again shutting down an opportunity. And the former Purple Paladin of Furman player sends the ball away with the wind at his back. Making a long run for it is Rankin. Thompson shoves him in the back a little bit. Ball out of play off of Thompson in the 88th minute. Charlotte's first game here at Ramblewood ended in drama when Thomas Zohar in the 90th minute to win it. Charlotte would love something like that now. Rankin overruns the ball. Two players come up on him. That was Del Piccolo and Enzo Martinez. Bouchou away to Marr. Look for Rankin. Takata is there. Plays it to the left. Goal! Ball deflected and it goes in! It goes in for 27, Kingsley Bryce. He scores action and the drama goes in favor of St. Louis as their long Kingsley Bryce winds up scoring to give St. Louis a 2-1 lead. It was all set up by Brian Gall's attempt that wound up being deflected off of Matt Lamson. And right there on the rebound, Kingsley Bryce scores in the 88th minute.
Number 27, Kingsley Bryce.
So Bryce scores off the deflection.
St. Louis in the 88th minute.
No assist announced. Jackson tries to gain control at the other end. Gall, though, wins the ball to Rankin. So St. Louis, which has gone winless in its last 8 games, about to end that streak, and that one could be a very expensive goal. Here's Takata, got that pass away to Gall. Very nicely done. Lamson did all that he could, but the header put forth into an empty net by Kingsley Bryce. And St. Louis not only, it appears, about to end an 8-game winless streak, but they've now scored multiple goals in the same game for the first time in 6 contests. Charlotte now in the 90th minute. We'll hear in just a moment how much time is added on. Del Piccolo. Here's Herrera running on his Slogic on the overlap, and then Kahn had to come way out of net to boot it way upfield. Slogic was over as a surprise attacker, as Mike Jeffries has pretty much cleared his back line and is doing everything he can now to get the equalizer late. Duckett looking for Slogic, goes over his head. Martinez will keep it in play. Overstep on the left. Enzo chips, and it goes onto the netting on the wide side. Look to the far end, and they're holding up how much added time is on. Three minutes of added time. And we're going to have the final. Actually, it's going to be a substitution here. And this is going to be Nick Bibbs coming in. Nick Bibbs coming into the contest, and he'll replace Brian Gall. So this is defense for offense here at St. Louis. We'll try to hold on to this 2-1 lead. 3 minutes of added time indeed. And Nick Bibbs comes in as the final St. Louis substitute. Slogic bodied off the ball. And it's going to be a free kick coming up here for Independence as time runs out. You see that minute on the clock. You have to think that's going to be somewhat nullified since Biggs came in just as the 90th minute struck. Speaking of Bibbs, he comes in and knocks the ball away from Jorge Herrera. Jack Thompson will move it in quickly to Enzo Martinez. Jackson trying to get position but can't field it. Del Piccolo corkscrews around the right sideline, moves back the other way, put in the box, Slogic there! And once again to get a ball on it, or get a hand on it, was Alec Kahn as he moved swiftly to the right. The contact by Patrick right there wasn't as solid as he would have liked it. And Charlotte couldn't quite tie the game. Ball bouncing back the other way. Again, the wind carrying it forward, making it easy to field for goalkeeper. Up the field, Calvert heads it on. Slogic with some high spikes, and he'll be hit with a foul. Looking at around a minute and a half remaining here, if that. And the late goal by Kingsley Bryce has given St. Louis the lead. In the 88th minute, Bryce scoring his first of the year. Kahn puts the ball forward. Thompson heads it up. Parker Marr couldn't get up to it. Herrera's there. This will be a disappointing result for Charlotte if it holds. Enzo Martinez to the right for Ben Noonan. And the flank looks to put it in the box, does so. Ball carries over the head of Kahn, and it's free in the box. Charging for it quickly is Martinez, and he's hit with a foul, and there'll be more with that. It's going to be a red card, my heavens. Oh, it's against Caleb Calvert, excuse me. Caleb hit with a red card, fighting for that loose ball. And for Caleb, that's his first booking of any kind this season. As apparently, in the opinion of the head official, he wound up getting his spikes a little bit too high. So Caleb Calvert, not only now done for this game, but he will be suspended for next week's game, and that's the contest. That's the final whistle, and this is a disappointing Independence Day for Independence, as Kingsley Bryce scores in the 88th minute, and St. Louis has its first win in 8 games, as the St. Louis Football Club wins the first ever matchup against Charlotte Independence, and Charlotte's 6-game undefeated streak at home comes to an end as they suffer their first loss here at Ramblewood Soccer Complex. St. Louis getting the late goal, managed to down Charlotte by a score of 2-1. A dejected group of Charlotte players going off the field, wondering where all the opportunities in this game went. And you have to credit certainly Alec Kahn, who did everything he could possibly do to make sure that Charlotte would not get the second goal in this game. Shortly after, Danny Jackson wound up scoring an unexpected goal, an unexpected equalizer. Independence had one opportunity after another from Jorge Herrera. Jackson himself had a chance to add on a brace. Alex Martinez also had a chance, but Independence couldn't do it. And St. Louis gets a well-deserved 3 points, and what figures to be a big 3 points in the standings, as Charlotte ends the homestand in disappointing fashion, and now will have to go on the road for 2 very difficult tilts against Louisville City and against Rochester. We're going to pause for this break here, come back and summarize this game for you as Charlotte falls here tonight to see St. Louis wins over the Jacks 2-1. We're back here at Ramblewood Soccer Complex, which is clearing out with fireworks going off in various directions. Unfortunately, not enough fireworks tonight for Charlotte Independence, as a late goal in the 88th minute from Kingsley Bryce gave St. Louis FC its third road win of the year, and it ends an 8-game winless streak for them as they down Independence tonight 2-1, and that also ends Charlotte's 6-game unbeaten streak at home. We'll take a look at the equalizer that came for Charlotte in the second half here. Danny Jackson wound up scoring it, as this was the game-winning goal. We'll take a look at Jackson's goal here. First of all, set up very nice. Ryan Finley corkscrewed around. Alex Martinez managed to feed Jackson at a perfect shooting angle, and this was the only ball to beat goalkeeper Alec Kahn on the night. And Danny Jackson scores his first professional goal. Alex Martinez notches his second assist, and that left things level at 1. It would stay that way late until this opportunity. Takata set it up, and then it was Brian Gall. His shot went off the hand of the Charlotte goalkeeper, Matt Lamson, but then on the cash in, the rebound into an empty net was Kingsley Bryce, and St. Louis would wind up scoring 2-1, the final score. St. Louis earns its third road win of the season. St. Louis is now 4-5-6 in the Eastern Conference, and they are now ahead of Charlotte in the East by 2 points. Charlotte falls to 4-5-4 on the season, suffering only its second home loss of the season and its first home loss since opening night. A disappointing result, especially considering what's ahead for Independence. And if Charlotte is going to make the playoffs, to put it bluntly, they're going to have to win one of their next 2 games. Charlotte leaves Charlotte this week. They'll take on Louisville City FC coming up next Saturday at Louisville Sluggers Field. And after that, they will take on a team that is still undefeated in USL, the team that leads the race for the Commissioner's Cup in the Rochester Raging Rhinos. Hopefully we can get a look at that red card before we go off the air here. We'll take a look at this here that was called against Caleb Calvert. And Caleb picks up his first booking of the year, and Caleb will now be next week's game. As we'll get a look at this here, Caleb was rooting for a loose ball in the tackle from behind on Charles Rankin. And take a look at it there. We'll get another angle of it, and Caleb just thought he was making a play on the ball and was upset at the call. But Rankin wound up drawing the foul, and Caleb Calvert knew he was going to get booked, but I don't think he was expecting a red card. So he will be suspended for next week's contest against Louisville City. Well, we thank Ryan Brown, our director, for taking time out from his 4th of July holiday from joining us. And we also thank you for joining us here tonight. Here, Charlotte Independence falls for just the second time at home this season, as they fall to 4-5-4 on the year, losing to St. Louis 2-1. For Ryan Brown, our director, I'm Jeff Hamlin, saying good night from the Ramblewood Soccer Complex.